Twitch chat and hashtag Uniqlo to stand a chance to win the one set of sports utility wear. And speaking of Uniqlo, one of our apparel sponsors, our only and very grateful apparel sponsor, we do have a QR code up on the bottom of your screen right now. So if you can have that, if you guys are wondering what that is, well, it is for you, or rather, it's a link to download the Uniqlo app on the App Store. And, if you do have that on your phone, you get $5 off your first purchase with the Uniqlo app, as well as stand a chance to win the Airism mask, which we were kind of talking about earlier. One of the more comfortable, one of the more functional masks out there. And no hate, no shade to, anything else, but I'm just saying, it's a cut above. It's a cut above.
Yeah. Well, the normal ones just don't do.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Atas.
Yeah, we'll say that.
May is a bit fancy, She's
Yeah.
like, it's the Airism mask or nothing for me. Otherwise, she's just gonna be walking around like, I don't need a mask unless
You
it's
need the airism. Like in this weather that we have, it's just
true.
insanely humid, hot. Yeah, airism just does it for me. I can't.
Yep. So head on over to download the app right now. You can see the QR code. Just scan it with your phone. I'm sure if you have an iPhone or anything else nowadays, QR code scanners are pretty available. Just scan it on your phone and head on over to download that. Not to mention, like we said, the questionnaire stuff that will be going out. I believe we will select 2 winners at the end of the day, so do stay tuned to the end of the stream and find out if you're one of the winners that walked away with those very swanky, very chic, very functional sets of apparel. We wore them on stream yesterday, very comfortable, infinitely more cooling than my church clothes that I have on, the jacket
And the blazer. Yeah.
and the blazer. Yep, it is a bit warm and spicy in here right now, because so far we've seen a bunch of very insane matches. I say a bunch, it's just one best of 3, right? ITE College Central, very dominant, kind of swept the floor of SIT. That was a very commanding, let's just call it a commanding game, a set of games coming up from them.
Yep.
In our next best of 3, we will have ITE College East going up against Ngee Poly.
Yeah. Oh, represent.
Represent Ngee Poly, a school that was next to my university. I was from SIM, so I used to see them all the way to and fro from
right
school.
beside.
Yeah, right beside the school, right beside my university, right? So, I have no horse in the race. I have no bias here, but maybe you might be egging NP a bit more.
I would definitely. I want to see them win. I mean, just putting it out there.
Yeah.
I hope they win.
Yesterday, SP broke my heart already. So, misery loves company, and you know what? I hope that NP lose for my sake.
Wow.
So that we can just both sit here and grieve the loss of our respective polytechnics, right?
I'm gonna hope that it's not gonna go that way. I think sometimes we need to break out of the misery cycle a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'm still holding on to that hope.
This is starting to become a motivational stream. Just chatting, like a therapy session, with Hungry Cast and Scrubby Cheeks. Just
Yep.
how do you feel today, chat? tell us how you feel
Put
today.
it in the comments.
Yeah, put it in the comment
Therapy
section.
sessions.
How are you guys feeling today? Is everything okay? Do you need someone to talk to? We did receive word from production that the players are loading into lobby. We should be jumping into draft very, very soon, and we will have our games underway. Of course, I understand the feeling. Sometimes it's just kind of annoying to see the casters talk too much before the game. So I am a big fan of just jumping straight into the action. NP versus ITE College Central, 4th versus 5th, right? NP right now sitting on a 2-2 record. ITE College Central on a 1-3 record. So if ITE College Central wins, they will tie up the score against Ngee Poly. But if your alma mater wins, then they will be jumping ahead in the standings. They'll be a very convincing 4th, I believe, and potentially make it out of group stages with no real issue. That remains to be seen, because right now we are into draft, ladies and gentlemen. You can see on your screen, it is going to be ITE College East on the blue side and Ngee Polytechnic on the red side.
Yep, and already banned out right now is the Estes. What do you think of this Estes coming out as first ban?
I don't think it warrants a first ban, to be very honest. I feel like it's one of those picks that has synergy if you're drafting like a very strong like frontline tanky kind of composition, but alone it's not inherently OP, right? It's not one of those things like, oh, I'm just gonna get slapped by an Estes of all things. And maybe it's them signaling like, we respect the Estes on the side of NP, we just don't want to deal with it because there's an opportunity for them to draft that. So removing it from the pool is definitely a comfort ban as opposed to a meta ban. As we see the Eve come out, that is a meta ban, ladies and gentlemen.
And the Selena.
Yep, both meta bans.
Yeah.
Very frustrating to deal with on both ends. Eve has very strong control in team fights. Selena leans the other way. Selena leans towards like hitting abyssal arrows. If we connect on a prime target, we will fight and we will look for that pick. Otherwise, we'll just send out another abyssal arrow in like 5 seconds,
Which is just as painful.
Yes.
I mean, Yi puts out a different kind of annoyance to Selena, but they're just as annoying. And joining the group here will be Xbox, which we've seen in quite a couple of games now. Not as effective as maybe we'd like them to be so far, but it is going to be taken off the board for this one.
I think Xbox is somewhat overvalued right now by some teams, because it's a strong pick, don't get me wrong, but you need to know your item timings, right? It's the War X that makes or breaks this pick, and a lot of people come online a bit too late with the War X by the time they've lost like a lot of the momentum, a lot of the tempo. So you're looking at like a 4k gold deficit when he just picks up the War X, and you're like, well, how do we fight this here? Of course you still could, but it's a very tricky situation. You have to kind of maneuver your timings very well. Eudora first pick for IT College East, and Matilda being locked in by NP. We talked about the value of the Eudora, very frustrating to lane against, very powerful when she hits her ultimate, and very low interaction, right? There's no real counterplay if she locks you down and bursts you down.
Yeah. Oh, it is going to be the Matilda as well as the Kaja on the side of Neon Polytechnic.
So that is some counterplay. I mean, if you can suppress her, you can pull her into your team, the Eudora just does absolutely nothing. So we will see the answer in the form of the Matilda too. If you can dive onto the Eudora before she gets her spells off and just instantly, burst her. These are the two picks that were geared towards making sure Eudora does not have a game. The response here from College East as well, if you want to kill her, it's going to be real difficult because we have Tigreal for the counter engage. Implosion is just the straight up, like, second to, Fury, I feel like it's one like, up there in terms of counter engage potential. You just, if you're able to lock anyone diving and Sacred Hammer them back away from the team, it's like, okay, free win,
Yeah, or you use Sacred Hammer first, push everyone else,
one,
and then you do Implosion, right? It's just as hard to deal with. And you have coupled with the Esmeralda, but NP here is going to pick up the Benedetta, which we also talked a little bit about, being banned out a lot, but looks like it will go through for this round.
Benedetta, for the most part, does what both Matilda and Kaja want, which is to jump on the backline. She does it in a different way though. She basically just ignores all tanks and iframes her way into the backline and kills you off with Electro Final Blow and Eye for an Eye. So I think
makes it out alive.
Exactly. So that's the value of the Benedetta pick. However, it's very much contingent on her getting a hit. If she's behind, she can't do that. If she's even or hit, she then presents a kill threat against the Eudora. But the value from the pick comes from being able to snowball in. I think NP will be playing around this Benedetta a lot more.
So really building her up, giving her the chance to, cut the lane early, and then kind of roam around to just aggress, put pressure on the other sides, and pull the team ahead.
Esmeralda here is I'm not a big fan of Esmeralda, especially after all the nerfs, but she's still good in the sense that, like, anyone with shields, in this case like Matilda, you're not going to be able to play the game, right? So it's a good answer. The Granger here, 4th for MP on the red side, it's starting to look a bit more meta in a sense. Like, if I look at it, take away the nameplates, take away the tournament, this is an MPL draft.
Well, notwithstanding the nerf. Well, even after Granger was nerfed, we still see him picked up so much, and I think this is a little bit of a surprise for me. I think that it seems as if like it hasn't been nerfed. Like, people still favor him so much.
It's because of his power spikes. Like, his timings compared to, like, we were talking about Xbox, right? The item timings and the item power spikes. His is a lot smoother. Level 1 to 4, you have a small curve. Like, you're just farming. Level 4, once you get Death Sonata, you spike. And then once you pick up Endless Battle, again, it's another big spike, right? So these are the items that, as well as the skill levels that come in, that really make Granger a very smooth pick. The answer here for ITE College East will be the Roger and the Jaw hit. So looking to bring a bit more control as well as clean up to the table is always a good choice. If you burst someone close to death with the Eudora, this is when, the Lycan Pounce and the cleanup from Roger feels a lot better. You have a lot more value. The final pick here, I believe, was Hayabusa for NP. So again, name of the game for Neon Polytechnic. Dive the backline, kill the Eudora. Try to be as invulnerable or as evasive as possible while you're doing so.
I feel like they have quite opposing strategies here, right? I mean, MP is going to dart around your entire team so much, but then on the side of College East, they're going to have to try to lock down someone. And they're also not going to make it easy for you to find somebody, because they have, the Tigreal, they have someone like a Jawhead who can eject you. So it's going to be hard to find the Eudora and Roger, but at the same time fighting with the mobility that MP has.
You can see that MP understand their game plan being to kind of execute the Eudora because of the battle spells that they took, right? As it does exactly what it says on the box. Their plan is to just kind of kill the squishy first. And because between Hayabusa and Benedetta, you have a lot of evasion, Implosion is a bit harder to hit. Like, most of the time, you're pretty guaranteed to, hit 2 or 3 people. But if they are in their iframes, if you are in, like, the Ogi Shadow Kill as well as the Electro Final Blow, it's tough to really lock people down with Implosion.
Yeah, so we'll see who comes out on top of their drafts. But right now, game 1 between ITE College East as well as MP. going into the first game here. Ben's just hiding a little in the bushes here. Two people on the aggression on the top side. Nothing much that he can do for now.
They want to fast push so they can invade and look to
jungle.
punish the Granger. Like we said, level 1 to 4 Granger is kind of like low econ, low utility. Doesn't really do all too much. So if you can find him and kill him off early, and they're seeing the rotation by the way, Granger needs to be very careful here.
Yep, and doing the same, I think MP is trying to pressure a little bit of the jungle, but not getting too much out of that, just Matilda at this point. So Stepbro does walk away with his buff still.
The Roger is a bit more kind of tankiness and mobility in a sense because, you know, when he swaps the Lycan form, he has that movement speed. So I think this matchup kind of favors the Roger compared to the Granger, who, like you can see, he's so careful. He has to be just playing on the outskirts of the jungle, right? You can't walk back in and take your buff. You kind of have to just wait for your team to come back to you.
Yeah, I mean, the moment you get caught by, you know, the Tigreal and then Eudora bursts you down, I don't think that's something that they want to be looking at. And right now, Granger is on the run a little from his buff, having to... oh, actually, he did manage to pick it up.
That was a touch and go for a moment. Here comes the Benedetta, though she is level 4 already. She's looking for the kill.
It does get a lot of damage taken, but still manages to pick up 2 people on the side of MP, and right now actually make that a 3 for 1 trade in favor of MP. They're still going with the Rhapsody. Just one more hit will do. Dives under the turret to pick that up.
How is he still alive? How did the Kaja escape? He came out the lightning field and was able to really just, you know, flicker away from that fight, but 4 for 1 at the end of that, and it is going to be, unfortunately, the turtle taken as well. So I mean, unfortunately for College East, and unfortunately for me, right? But for you, fortunately, NP get this early control, and we talked about this. They're going to be playing around the Benedetta a lot. You can see the focus now. They're making the rotation up. They want to kill this jaw hit. I4I gets the stun. Granger's already here. Does not have the Death Sonata, but if this fight goes on, Rhapsody will kill him.
He is here trying to get the clean up and does manage to pick him up as well, I think. Didn't see that one coming at all, even after lurking for quite a bit. But will be another free kill going the way of Neon Polytechnic.
Esmeralda has to back off here. She is sensitive to getting caught by the circling eagle, so she needs to be careful about her position. All said and done though, like we talked about in the draft, NP is going to be playing around the Benedetta very heavily, right? Because once she's a hit, she's able to jump the Eudora and just punish her in team fights, and that is not what ITE College Central wants. They want the ability to peel for the Eudora, they want the ability to kind of burst someone down and have the Roger clean up. So Benedetta getting like fed early on is a good sign. This is exactly what I mean. Low interaction, no counterplay. If you catch someone, you burst them down. And in that instance, if the Roger was around, like a pounce in, find a kill.
Yep, another skirmish here knocked up already is IBXN falling immediately. Next is Jawhead. Benedetta going real hard trying to take him down here, but it looks like he might be able to escape, and instead College East picks up 3 for themselves.
They found the early fight that they wanted. They were able to nuke people down and get the clean up with the Roger. Benedetta here very low. Can she get out?
Yep, will be able to get the kill now. 1 for 1 trade. I think the Divine Judgment earlier managed to pick up CYIS as well.
Roger's first power spike is online right now. He's got a Wind Talker already, so this is when College East will be very comfortable skirmishing and fighting. All they need to do is just look for the burst from Eudora, and then you have the Roger come in and clean up.
I think this is the mark of like the two teams in showing why they are at the places they're at. They're coming like head to head exactly, fighting for 4th and 5th position. So right now in terms of the lead, they're pretty much split even.
Circling Eagle in.
Oh, and manages just to land it on L4H, and the burst comes in from Eudora, but not enough yet. Electo as well laid down first to go is Stepbro, and College East looks like they want a bit more, but CYS actually falling in that fight instead.
At the risk of sounding like a meme, but like, what was he doing there, right? There was no reason for him to be in that part of the jungle, like, especially when you know multiple members of MP are kind of missing and on the hunt. Benedetta, being Benedetta, should be able to get out here. Like, there's no more lockdown on the side of ITE College East. No unstoppable force, no way you get in range of ejector. They lose mid tier 1 2. This is a big problem as we see the War Axe completed for the Benedetta as well as the Hayabusa. This is problematic now. MP are on such a huge power spike.
Yep, they are going to be... This reminds me of like Ooh, Nemo getting dangerously low and will do the trick here. Kaja picks up that one for himself. I feel like this is a bit of like hide and seek. You know, Eudora is gonna be the one who like it's like peekaboo, here I am, and
Yeah.
burst you down. But will Hayabusa or Benedetta find the Eudora before she does?
That's the big threat, right? She's trying to hide, but on the MP side, you have like 4, seekers trying to kill him off.
Yeah.
And there's so many threats that you have to be worried about. I'm not sure if Eudora's going to get out of this game alive. Tier 2 is falling dangerously low, forces the rotation up from 2 members of College East. Now, all MP need to do is just play the map and hunt for Eudora. Because they have Benedetta, Hayabusa, and Matilda. All of them are somewhat mobile. Oh, hold on. Good pick here. Might just be able to find a kill. Nope.
Yeah, Matilda still quite a little bit, not enough damage quite to burst him down. And that's the entire kit of Eudora, right? I mean, you ball lightning and then pull it out, and if the person dies, he dies. But if not, then good luck.
This is what I mean. Because they have Hayabusa, Benedetta, and Matilda, they can just play the map. They're so mobile, as we see. Kaja just dying here, but they're looking for a counter kill on the Roger, jumping in with the circling eagle. Multiple members of MP in the middle of the fight, but they decide this is not what they want. Unstoppable force in, and the ejector, they find a pick, and that is the kill on the Matilda. And now NP, they have to leave with their tails between their legs. Coming in though, thinking twice, backing out. MP lose 2 people on the engage.
2 people. I think MP kind of like manages to find their foot in this fight. They know exactly what they're going for, and they're playing out that strategy. Off the back of that fight, they are already going to get the turtle for themselves.
This is smart though. You can see that they're not committing to full 5s. Like, if we lose 1 or 2, that's our sign to just get out, right? We don't want to stick around, and all they're doing is just splitting up the lanes, making sure there's always people to collect farm, which is why in terms of gold, yes, they are up 3 kills, but majority of that comes from just being able to collect farm and be able to collect turtles.
Yeah, and the kills are kind of like where they want the kills to be. Like you have Granger with 3 to his name, you have Benedetta with some as well, but on the side of College East, well, Eudora has 1. That's not going to give her like a lot of farm to go on.
She's basically kind of gimped at this point. Like, she's waiting for, a bit more farm to come in. In terms of items, I think it's Lightning Truncheon that's going to be the make or break power spike for her in this game. Looking at the map, there is still a minute and then some on top of the next turtle, and NP are doing the right thing. They're splitting up on the map, they're collecting farm like we said earlier, making sure to not overextend, not get caught, even take the opponent's jungle if they need to. It's ITE College East that's actually, kind of lying in wait, setting up these ambushes, but they're not finding anything.
Yeah, they do have the ability to do that. I mean, they have a lot of potential with the CCs on Jawhead, on Tigreal, and trying to set something up now is ITE as they jump in right to the tower, but actually getting that fall flat on their face, and the one that falls is a regretful expert.
The problem there, if you notice, right, was they set up that mid play on the Granger. 4 people just sat there, and they couldn't find anything. They used a lot of ultimates, they used a lot of utility just trying to kill the Granger there, and they were unable to convert. Meanwhile, their tier 2 just falls because MP are the ones that actually force the play. So by splitting up the map and being very conscious about who could die, and then, kind of trading power, MP are able to get a hit.
Circling Eagle now onto Step Bro, and he immediately melts to the ground. CYIS the next target now, and Benedetta picks up the credit for it. It will be 2-0 in favor of College East. MP just is playing their strategy exactly well. They know what they want, they go for it, and they convert that into objectives.
They're overreaching here. They need to back up. One person is definitely going to die if they're not careful. So thankfully it's still Benedetta. She has the dashes out. This is going to be Lord spawning right now. You get mid prio, you rotate over. Oh, the burst. Careful.
Not quite enough to burst that down just yet. Turret is still standing for a little bit.
Endless Battle picked up on Granger. This is as strong as he's going to be right now, barring like, getting armor items or like a resurrection or something, right? So NP are in the perfect timing with this Lord to actually force an inhibitor and push down the lane. Eye for an eye coming out though. I don't think he wants to be here.
CYS another falling once again, and now NP is on the front foot chasing down Nemo. They already have 2, trying to get 1 more to their name over here. Nemo doing as much as he can to make it out alive, but a triple to the name of Benz.
I'm not sure why IT College East felt like they had to fight there. Like we said, this is as strong as the Granger is going to get in terms of power spikes. Endless Battle is the biggest one, right? So he's got that. And then you decide to handshake a Lord fight after the Lord is gone.
Yeah.
Like, it's a sunk cost fallacy. You're over, it's done. Circling Eagle in, like, why is Jawhead here? He should not be defending this. Just give up the inhib, and now that you die, you will lose this inhib. You will potentially lose the bot and top as well once the Lord crashes in and Kaja brings the wave in. So it's this idea, right? A sunk cost fallacy. We've already invested so much, we got to try and throw more in to try and get money back. This is why gamblers lose a lot at the casino, is because they don't recognize that they've already lost and they try to make something back.
Yep, and the next two being lost is going to be the turrets as well. College East base is cracked wide open. Our NP already marching into the base and chunking down onto the core over here. Half health and knocked out 2 members down on the side of College East.
They still have the wave, they can still fight this. Another member is going to drop, it's the jaw hit dead, and now the core is going to be focused down. And NP, 10 minutes, maybe even 11, close to 11 minutes, that game was a statement coming in. You must be feeling pretty happy about yourself here, May.
Yeah, I think they took that was real fast.
Yep.
11 minutes, they cleaned out the game extremely well. I'm not sure about the last fights. I think that was that on the side of College East. It
Bro, they
cost
ran
them
it
a
down.
lot.
They just ran it down, right?
Yeah.
After the Lord was dead, they just decided, oh yeah, let's go in and try to fight. And it was CYIS first, right? The Tigreal engaged without his team behind him. In most cases, I would say yes, make that play, jump in, implosion 4 members. But he did all of that. He turned around, team,
No,
where's everyone? You know, and then he's pinging like question mark, where's everyone? You know, that is what really kind of cost them that final fight and cost them a lot because it's a snowballing effect. At that point, Granger is at its strongest. Your tank is gone. You don't have anyone frontline sitting to tank up the Death Sonata. How do you take those fights? How are you able to just sit there and go, you know, man to man, mano a mano, and try to take, you know, those clashes? It does not happen. And with the Lord marching in, with the Jawhead also dying on top of that for some weird reason,
4v6.
4v6 essentially, right? They were able to just close out the game.
Yep. So yay!
Yay.
1-2, the name of Niam Polytechnic. I think that's a good start.
Yep, definitely looking very dominant. ITE College East, the draft, in my opinion, nothing really wrong. I felt like all 5 pieces had a role to play, but the problem was taking fights. I think they were they didn't really understand how to take mid-game fights. The early game was absolutely perfect, by the way. I loved how they had this early push,
Yeah.
and they started invading the
Jungle,
Granger,
yep.
and that put him behind, but Roger was ahead. But the first turtle fight, they took it very poorly. The subsequent turtle fight took it poorly as well, and we keep losing
It
these
just went
5-on-5s.
downhill.
Yeah, it just goes downhill, right? It looks really good at the start, and then slowly they just lose these 5-on-5s, and they're like, okay, what's going on? And in addition to that, this is something that, you know, teams do when they don't know how to play from behind. They like to just sit in a bush and hope someone walks in to get a pick, right? We saw that in mid, they tried to kill the Granger. They spent like half a minute sitting there. Roger was there as well. Half a minute, he's not doing anything, just waiting for a kill. It's time that could be spent farming.
Yeah.
He's late to items. He's just sitting there trying to catch up, find a kill, find something. Meanwhile, MP are like, oh cool, there's 4 members there. I'm just going to fight the other side of the map,
rest
right?
of the map. I'll
Exactly.
take the rest of everything.
They're like farming the other side of the map. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
someone walked up. Let's just kill him, take this turret. Oh yeah, we also have 2 buffs and a camp. Yeah, just take all of that, right? And it seems like NP are more decisive when it comes down to map play, whereas on the side of ITE College East, they don't understand how to play the map as well.
Yep, so definitely, I think MP played that well, pretty well. College East, though, I think has to kind of go into a hard reset now and look at, you know, is this draft working out for them? And then how do we correct those, misplays, if you may. And when it comes to these 2 teams, they're going head to head. These small things matter. Like the moment you have that opening or opportunity, MP can capitalize on that, and you just can't let that happen.
Yeah, I think at a high level of play, I say high level with a very like kind of loose definition in the sense that this is still coordinated play,
Yeah.
right? Teams will know how to punish certain mistakes that you make, and I think it's fully expected. This is sort of like what we kind of want to see in Campus Legends. And man, MP sitting 2-2, it feels like that track record is something that kind of lies about their performance. Like it doesn't really state how good this team is when it comes down to playing the game.
Yep, so MP taking that one really convincingly. We'll see if they can bring the same kind of momentum into the next game. I'm feeling hopeful.
Yeah, I could see this you know, this level of pride in me. I'm like it's kind of gross, man.
that's
I don't know.
my
Yeah,
goal.
it's a little
goal.
bit gross, you know. I don't know how to describe it because yesterday I was watching SP. I'm like, yeah, they're just losing and like, it feels bad. But May is like, yeah, MP, you know, team spirit and all that. But wait till they lose. Then you join the dark side, you know. Be one of the team misery people. Yep.
It's a best of 3. So
It is a
even
best
if they
of 3.
lose the next one, there's still hope.
So optimistic.
Yeah.
So
Gotta
optimistic.
look on the bright side of things. And therapy session, remember? So
You ask me how I'm feeling? Oh, come on, man. Alright, we should be jumping the draft for Game 2 relatively soon, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Niam Polytechnic again in Game 2 against ITE College East. And well, Happy for you, they've won game one. Sad
Yep.
for me, we're not going to be, the group of downers where we're just depressed about our alma mater losing. So we'll see how this one plays out as draft should be underway, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this is only our second best of 3 for today, and just a little, hint, just a little quick tip. At the start of game 3 or after this game, we will also be giving out another set of Uniqlo apparel in our questionnaire giveaways. So stay tuned for that one because I believe the first one might have been over already, and we'll see if any of you lucky viewers stand a chance to win a set of Uniqlo attire coming in as we see the Kaja. This time it's NP that are worried about this pick.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. It looks like they're trying to go into a different strategy, banning out the hero that they used themselves in the last game.
Yeah, I think because they are on blue side, they might have something higher value here, maybe a Jawhead, maybe a Selena. So they're saying, yeah, if we pick those, we don't want you to get the Kaja, which is why they're banning it out. And it makes perfect sense to me. And again, ITE College East are the one that ban out the Eudora. So
they're
this is
just
like,
banning out their own heroes at this point.
it's also because the sides are inverted, so it seems
Yeah.
like the bans are kind of indicative of that. One thing I want to point out was that like ITE College East, Stepbro did not have a good game. Like on that Roger, he was able to clean up a few times early on, but when it came to late game positioning, he was a bit too ambitious. Let's just put it that way, right? Going in at the wrong timings, getting bursted down. Very curious to me in terms of how he was playing out team fights.
And again, now it's going to be the Xbox as well as the assist taken
Selena
off
Jawhead.
the board. So
Yeah.
going to be first pick on the side of MP. We'll see what they decide to
Actually,
go with.
I want the Matilda. Yeah, I want the Matilda because it did really well for them in terms of what they were trying to do.
Yep.
It was always, primary or secondary initiator for Neon Poly, and they really play around the Matilda very well. So I think the Matilda is probably the best pick for them at this point. And the reason I say that too is because if ITE College East does decide to go like Selena Jawhead here, Popo and Koopa is still open. You can instant counter pick with Popo and Koopa and reduce a lot of the threat coming in. But College East, they want the Paquito and they want the Alice. So NP here, they have to be careful. You can't fall into this trap because this is a mid to late game composition. If you are going to like take the bait and play early game, the onus is then on NP to say we must get kills and must snowball, right? And you know what will be falling into that trap? Selena Jawhead will be falling into that trap.
But I'm not sure. Like the games that we've seen so far, and with the previous game going, 10, 11 minutes just under. It's like MP does play well in the early game. So
Yeah.
I don't know if College East has so much time to go into the late game for this Alice to scale up.
This is true. MP is very good at leveraging their early game advantages, but what I mean to say is like when you do pick these early game compositions, you are incentivized and you have to kind of win early or risk falling behind or go even in mid game and then your opponents just outscale you, right?
If you don't have like insurance.
Exactly, right? In this case, just doubling down with the Lunox as well. These are picks that left unchecked become a big problem in late game team fights, and NP they have to be very concerned. If I'm ITCE here, College East should start banning out insurance, ban out picks that guarantee some sort of late game power for NP, right? So you have the Alice on your side. Brody comes to mind. Benedetta was a threat. It's not inherently a late game insurance pick, but it is a bridging point to get you going in the mid to early game.
Yeah, might be some sort of respect coming off the previous game as well. I think Benedetta did, a lot of the initiation, as well as picking up the team fights that MP managed to get a lead on.
Tigreal ban. I don't think there was a big problem though, but they might just be worried about the stalling potential because Tigreal, what he does do very well is if MP decide to force the issue, if they decide to like try and snowball their early lead, Tigreal is just a wall. He's just a wall that sits there, hits you implosion and dashes away, and then they can decide to not fight afterwards.
Yeah.
So you commit one ultimate to call off the fight, and for most games, if you're playing this scaling comp, it's worth it. It's worth just using the ultimate and just backing out and allowing your team to just scale up.
My heart is pumping there. I don't know what MP. Like, when I saw the Johnson, I think my heart
No,
skipped
no,
a
no,
beat.
no,
I was
no,
like,
no.
no, this can't be happening.
You don't. Yeah, probably not Johnson coming in.
Think it
Glue
might-
could
yeah,
be a
it
decent
might just be
option.
the
And
Glue.
again, Yisun Shin is very early to mid game focused. When it comes to late game, the problem is like he has to alternate between melee and range forms to get maximum damage.
Yep.
When it comes to late game, do you really want to go melee against Alice and Paquito? Obviously no, right? So this is a problem. MP are leaning early to mid, and the Granger here is just the icing on top of the cake. Not Granger, excuse me, what am I saying?
Claude.
Claude, rather. It's just the icing on top of the cake. Once he hits the golden staff, it's like, yeah, your game is over. they're fully scaled. They will be able to fight you, and you can't do anything against against ITE College East.
Yeah, so going to be an interesting one. I think the teams are playing against the clock here. NP on a timer and College East. If that timer expires, they're gonna be able to take this one.
Yep, MP definitely do have, like you said, a timer that they're playing on, but I'll add the caveat, this might make you feel better. They're very good at playing the early game, right? They're good at snowballing their leads. So if anything, that's a consolation, that is some kind of peace of mind that I'm giving you right now, May. However, if they are unable to, I'm going to set an arbitrary goal number, right? I think like 5k at 7 minutes. If they don't have at least a 5k goalie at 7 minutes, the game feels kind of awful. 2 to 3k at 7 minutes is non-existent. It doesn't really matter. But they need 5k at about 7 minutes to really feel like they can control the game.
Yep. We'll circle back to that 7-minute mark to see if MP gets ahead by then. But right now, going into Game 2, potentially match point between Neon Polytechnic and ITE College East. MP on the blue side with one Game 2, they're named right here. And on their side, going to be the Matilda, Selena, Harley, Glue, as well as Ishan Shin. And for College East, it's going with the Paquito, Alice, Lunox, Kufra, and Claude.
Now what they're doing is similar to what they did in Game 1, where they go for this early push and try to invade. The problem is this time though, they already have some focus here, and another kill coming in maybe?
He got away. Oh, no, okay. Yeah. To finish that up with Abyssal Arrow, good stun over there, and Destroyer is going to fall as the first blood.
So I was gonna say, like, they go with the early push again, they group up and try to get the lane down, but they're not gonna let me finish my point, they're just going for more kills.
Yeah, knocked up is CYIS and being hunted down at this point, but I don't think they have quite enough to take him down yet. Abyssal Arrow almost connecting, but Regretful Expert is the one being chunked down. Flicker gets him out safely.
Oh, flame shot from downtown! And it comes in from Q Dicey and snipes him off the face of the map. Now, I think there's a small moment I can talk about this. The early lane group up is smart, but it's countered by NP because NP realize that they're going to do this, so they go for the early invade first. They're the ones that make the first move, which is why they have this 2-0 lead. And they're able to control the map a bit more because it doesn't matter if you push up early if I invade and steal your buff away.
Yep, and MP really showing off of the aggression. I mean, P's diving the tower, almost quite getting Regretful Expert there, but making it out alive. And right now on the top side, Nemo, a little bit pressured down by the Glue, has to teleport away. This is in favor of MP because the turtle is now coming up.
It is, but the Alice doesn't care. If she dies here, it's gonna suck, but her point is to just scale up, right? So dying there just stops her from scaling, and MP, they have this early pressure, they have this early advantage that they're gonna try and use the snowball as they find another pick here.
Stunned out is CYIS trying to make a run for it with the bouncing ball. Last hit does not connect and is going to just go back to the base.
So we are 2.5 minutes in. The goal lead is slightly more than 1.5k. They are on track to start snowballing as we see Lunox pop the Brilliance here. The arrow!
Just missing the mark. If that hit, that would be insane. Just coming out of Brilliance and then you take a Abyssal Arrow to the face. That's just devastating.
Another fight here on the bottom side.
Paquito with the knockout strike. I think gets 2 in the air and just one more hit does the trick. Step Bro will go down. 4 kills now to MP's name. They are at a 2,000 gold lead.
Yeah, again, you know, see, Step Bro's positioning tends to be a bit sus sometimes. He just gets caught out. And this is not what you want as a hyper. You need to spend your time as efficiently as possible farming. IBX is an example, right? 101, he's really clocked a lot of overall map control and farm to his name. As we see the Glue here already pop the split. Just wants to disengage.
Yeah, I don't think Alice might get too much of that. Glue's just, hold that thought though. IBX now, I think has actually gone down. The next one to go is Regretful Expert, now circling Eagle, going to land on Team Destroy, but no follow-up there except from Dicey now coming in with the kills, picks him up for himself. CYIS trying to do as much as possible to make it out alive to no avail. It will be 2 to the credit of MP.
Yep, so tell a lie, it's not Step Bro on the hyper this time, he's on Paquito, and is the Claude that was actually just positioning outside of it, but still, 0, 2, and 1, the story is kind of the same. Dying unnecessarily meaning that you don't reach your power point in time. This goal lead now is at what, 3k, 3.5k, 4 minutes in, so they're very much on track for 5k at 7 minutes. And I think you can see it start to, as it goes along that curve, the specific power points come up as well, right?
Yep, and Stepbro once again in a little bit of trouble and taken down right under the nose of his turret. Team Destroyer trying to do what he can with the Blazing Duet, but only manages to fend them off enough to back off at the moment.
As long as they follow this like scaling curve, like okay, so if you want 5k at 7 minutes, you want like 8k at 10 minutes or 11 minutes, like if you stay along this, you will always have control of the game. But the moment you dip down, it's very hard to get back control. So I think MP are doing a very good job playing this early game right now. They are very much holding on to whatever lead that they've managed to find for themselves, and with the turtle coming up right now, NP should be looking for control of that. ITE College East, you don't fight here. If you can get a pick on the Harley, you're good, but he's already gotten the Paquito, so it's a 1-for-1 at most.
Yep, so they are 4 men down. I don't think College East can do much to contest this, although actually Dicey falling on the bottom side there. Turtle is
They shouldn't fight this.
Knocked up, and the Tyrant's Rage going to do nothing much on IBX, as now College East having to run for their lives out of that. Nemo is the one to fall, and now CYS in a little bit of a pickle in the middle of that. Trying to steal the turtle, but actually still goes to MP, and now College East makes a run for it.
Yeah, I think College East, they just have to turn tail and flee. If they get a kill on the way out, they'll be good, but no, unfortunate that they are unable to connect on any of that. At least they get one. Claude with a tricky tap on the way out. It's a 1-for-3, I believe, like you said, but Turtle did go the way of NP, and like I kind of mentioned offhand, College East should not be there fighting that. They should be scaling, they should not be taking these 5-on-5s, and it harkens back to Game 1's problems when it came down to, you know, them understanding their win conditions but them not fighting at the right times, right? They keep taking like poor 5v5s, and then they wonder why they're like 6k gold behind.
Well, they do get 1 or 2 kills off that, but at what cost?
Yep, at what cost?
So it's not, doesn't seem like it's working out for them. They are 3-ish K gold behind NP now. So we have about a minute left for MP to reach that mark. I think we're there.
We're getting there, but because they're not, because it doesn't seem like it's that smooth of a goal climb, that smooth of a lead, College East are still holding on, right? They still have, what, 3 of their inner turrets. They still have majority of the control on the map. They're able to just walk up into mid and push the wave. If this was a bigger goal lead, MP would just be smacking them, right? They are still kiting around and finding pigs, but it's usually off the back of these Abyssal Arrows.
Yep, and another one now connecting with Regretful Expert, having to use the Brilliance to get himself out of that, but now CYIS is next. Another Abyssal Arrow to the face. One more hit will send him back on a death timer. So see 2 kills for MP actually off of that.
Yeah, big sheesh moment there. He hits the first, he hits the second, and both of those Abyssal Arrows grant him the kills. We're starting to lose the inner structures, right? You can see the pressure mounting now from NP. We'll be looking to push even further in.
This is why you ban out Selena.
Yep, for sure, 100%.
You get Selena through, you take Abyssal Arrows to the face. That's just a consequence, but right now Nemo is having to teleport out of that, and another Abyssal Arrow stuns out CY as no follow-up yet. Instead, going to be Nemo sent back to the base, and now Brilliance used on Expert.
Oh, he flickered into it?
Flickered into the Abyssal Arrow and will suffer the consequence of that. CYS flickering out to safety, bouncing ball back to the base, and NP.
This guy is so cracked. He threw the arrow in front because he knows that the only way he gets out is if he flickers, right?
Yeah.
If he stays behind, his team will clean him up. So the Selena throws the arrow just a little bit further in front to make sure that he flickers into it and cuts off the escape. That is so 300 IQ. Holy!
I don't know if that was luck or like he predicted that to the center, to the millimeter.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, so cool. Okay, Endless Battle done for IBX. We are 8 minutes now. Goal lead is 8k. More than what we needed, right? So they have full control of this game. College East, another arrow?
Another Abyssal Arrow, you're kidding!
This time they don't follow up because it's just Selena and Matilda. They're like, nah, we probably can't jump into the Kufra. Okay.
I'm like, every time this arrow comes out, I feel like I have to hold on to my team.
Ah, yes. The classic Selena effect. Happens every time. Even when we're casting MPO, every time an arrow comes up, we're like, oh, another one, here we go, and then another kill.
Nemo flickering out, managed to get out of that one. Abyssal Arrow not connecting with, because Brilliance used on Regretful Expert actually. They're not going to be able to take down the mid-tier turret just yet, but does strip the farm away from College East, so even more gold to their name now.
Very important that they're able to just deny farm, because College East, their composition is late game. or rather like a 12-minute competition, right? So by denying farm, by preventing them from being able to pick up the jungle camps, you set them very far behind. And I think this might be it here coming in as another arrow connects.
Yep, with a regretful expert, but manages to come out of that, and now Lunox might just take another to the face. Actually did stunned out, and Harley picks up the kill for that. CYIS now jumping away to safety. I can't deal with this arrows.
It's just like a DJ call it, and another one, and another one. Yeah, they're just using these arrows, man, and I don't know if there's anything that ITE College East can do about it. They don't have anyone to sit there and just tank. It's only the Kufra. And speaking of Kufra, he's gonna get jumped on. Blazing Duet being used now. ITE College East looking to turn this one around. They have to be careful about their health bars though, as the Yisun Shin is gonna pick up that kill first. Another one coming in, and this could be the pickoff. Still, ITE College East looking to reset. The health bars already falling. Lunox is instantly dead. Alice also dying next. The triple kill coming for the Yisun Shin, looking for another one coming in, and a Maniac, but it doesn't seem like they'll give him anything more. It's just the core they're hunting for this. Give it to him. Give it to him, College East.
Man.
He earned it.
This is insane now. Stepbro just having to cower in base, and MP showing a bit of the aggression just because they can. Hiding out in the middle of the base of College East.
That is a scumbag move. Like, there's every opportunity for him to give him the fifth, and he sits inside the base. He's like, nah, I'm not gonna give it to you.
I'm not gonna give it to
no
you.
highlight plays for you.
For how many arrows you hit to my face, I ain't giving anything to you.
This is problematic. ITE College East, they are down 10k at 10 minutes. This is more than what we needed to get the ball rolling for NP. Of course, you know, there is still late game scaling options. Like we said, ITE College East, eventually the game will hit a point where like the goalie doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
But it's like 10 minutes from now. So they still need their farm, they still need their items, and NP, they're looking to close this one out here by picking up the Lord or potentially just killing the Kufra and the Alice.
Yep, they're coming from all angles here, and already down CYIS. Nemo now in a little bit of trouble. Blood not going to be enough to save himself, and now two members left on the side. Make that one another Maniac for Spicy over here. Wiped out is College East.
Yep, they just took that fight. They say, forget the Lord, forget the objectives. We just want to find the 5-on-5s, and IBX will sacrifice himself, you know, the respectful move as the hyper, but this is going to be game here. Neon Polytechnic may... My heart was broken yesterday. It looks like yours is singing today, because Neon Polytechnic looking like the dominant force in this group. 2-0 over ITE College East.
Very, very surgical almost. Maybe not even. Quicker than that.
Yeah.
And I think they played with like, it's like we talked about having a timer on them. But even then, at some point, they took out so much farm that the time is not going to matter.
Yes.
Even if you went past that mark, there's no farm for you to get back into the game, basically.
The comp is okay at scaling, right? Again, it comes to this point where if you're even in like 12 minutes, if it isn't 29 and 6, the Claude and the Alice feel like okay picks. The Paquito also feels like an okay pick. In fact, they excel because you're able to output the damage, you're able to output and just kind of sustain through all the initial, you know, DPS. Look at the overall, you know, kind of damage done from members of Neon Polytechnic. Everyone was there to just chip in. They were fully, you know, capable of team fighting. They were not just, you know, letting ITE College East farm by themselves and say, oh, we'll meet you in 10 minutes, right? They were always pressuring them out, and that's why they were able to control the tempo and the pace of the game.
Yep, and I think really showing that I'm actually surprised. To be honest, I'm surprised at how ahead MP managed to take themselves in these two games. It was as if College East kind of lost their momentum in the first game and just didn't quite come back from that. I think we talked about them going head to head, and they were so close. But then somehow MP just skyrocketed ahead of them and managed to take the second game as well.
Also, want to point out, Twin Shadow Blades is kind of a nutty item on Harley. Just want to put that out there. It's actually insane. Increases your burst by like tenfold. So